Welcome to Exiles. Today we're going to talk about Hateforge and how, well, it got a little bit stronger. And by a little bit, I mean a lot of it, because we can pretty much cast Vaal Double Strike continuously, and we can do so with pretty much any Vaal skill we want, and I'm going to show you how. Now, credit where credit is due. This was all thanks to a guy named Tortoise, or Quartus on YouTube. He came up with this technique, and we are straight up copying it because it works so freaking good. It automates the rage generation to perfection. And I just have to say, man, that was some good 5-head plays you came up with here. I'm going to share it with the world, and may everybody appreciate your work in the scientific field, man. You make us all proud. So the way it works is Chains of Emancipation, Rot Blood, Chainbreaker, Hateforge. It's mostly self-explanatory. Once we go through the steps, you'll think it clicks like butter. That didn't make sense at all. Anyways, Chainbreaker. Or not Chainbreaker, Chains of Emancipation. Why do all these things have chain in them? Chains of Emancipation is a belt that gives us max rage when we lose temporal chains. It also makes us lose temporal chains once we hit 25 rage. So the process is simple. We cast the aura of temporal chains on ourselves thanks to Rot Blood. Then we use a rage skill that sends us to 24 rage, just below 25. Chainbreaker will then take us to 25, and Chains of Emancipation will take us back to max. The idea is simple. Every time we cast the skill, Chainbreaker only has to generate one rage for it to actually send us all the way back up to max stacks. So we can continually cast our Vaal skills if, one, we have no soul gain prevention, which I'll walk you through how to get, and two, if we have enough rage generation from Chainbreaker and enough attack speed. Those are our limiting factors. So you'll see I made a little equation here for you to figure out. If you get your skills 6 linked up and you're thinking, how much rage cost does it need to be? The formula is simple. It's your max rage minus 24. That's how much your rage cost needs to be for maximum efficiency on this. Now, the first big step of this process is getting soul gain prevention down to 0 or 100% soul gain prevention duration reduction, however you want to say it. Point is, there's about 2 methods that are really consistent and viable to get your soul gain prevention down to 0. Those methods are through Triumvirate and through, well, they both require Soul Catcher. It's either you get Triumvirate and you have roughly what equates to around a 3-link or 3.5-link / 4-link damage setup, or you can go for a 6-link-ish damage setup with less duration on your clones. The way it works is simple. The Soul Catcher Flask comes with up to 40% soul gain prevention. With Pathfinder, you can get roughly around 80%, 75% flask effect, which can take this around to 70% soul gain prevention, or reduced soul gain prevention duration. With Triumvirate Ring, if your thing is socketed in there and you have the mod that says socketed Vaal, love you too, Lance. If you have the socketed Vaal skills that have 30% reduced duration on them, that means 70 plus 30, all of a sudden you're at 100% reduced soul gain prevention duration. This means that once you, well, I'll show you what it looks like. If you have a Vaal skill to say, oh, this is your time, it's going to take 5 seconds for the soul gain prevention to wear off, for you to generate rage again, basically. If we pop our flask, that goes down to 0 seconds because we're at 100%. I am doing not the method with Triumvirate Ring. What I am doing is a method using Warped Timepiece, which gives us reduced skill effect duration, in combination with things like reduced skill effect duration on the tree here. The idea is pretty simple. We get enough flask effect to take us to about 60% soul gain prevention, and with skills like Vaal Double Strike, there's a line that says modifiers to skill effect duration also apply to this skill's soul gain prevention, which means if we get 50, 40, 30% reduced skill effect duration, that is additively stacked with the soul gain prevention duration reduction. I don't know if that makes sense. Basically, we're getting 60 to 70% soul gain prevention reduction duration. I don't know. That's a tongue twister. Point is, you get reduction in the duration from the flask, and you can get it through reduced skill effect duration here, reduced skill effect duration here. Now, the important factor with doing something like a 6-link setup of Vaal Double Strike is you cannot get it to the point where it's only going to cost you 26 rage. You'll see our supports add rage cost here, because what they do is they multiply the rage cost of Chainbreaker. So as we add in supports here, you see the rage cost is changing. Your 6-link setup needs to be set up in such a way that it modifies the rage cost to be either exactly 31 or the next threshold would be 36. Now, the way you get to 60 rage or 55 rage is simple. It's using things like Replica Conqueror's Efficiency. That'll take you to 55. Or you could grab things like Berserking to take you to 60. You don't want to go higher with rage. You want to be at a precise amount of maximum rage. So that way, your 6-link cost is just enough to take you to 24, for Chainbreaker to take you 20 to 25, for Chains of Emancipation to take you back to max rage. So the two methods are Triumvirate Ring, and you want your rage cost to be basically 26. I think that requires maybe a 22%, 23% reduced rage cost. We could check here. I think defaultly, just like this, if I chuck it in, it's at a rage cost of 27, so our gloves need to be rolled a little bit better. I will say at a perfect roll of 25% reduced rage cost, the Triumvirate Ring no longer works because it makes the rage cost 25, which is a brick, because if you use your rage skill, it sends you to 25, your character will use it again, which will send you to 0. All of a sudden, Chainbreaker has to generate all the way to 25 for you to go to max rage, and your rage generation is bricked at that point. It works at 24%, I know, so somewhere in between 22, 23, 24 is the magic number where the ring works, and then for a 6-link to work, you really want to get pretty much as high as possible, so you can use the best damage links as possible. Hopefully that explains the concept well for getting yourselves some nice, basically limitless Vaal skills, infinitely chaining in a row. I should mention this real quick. If you're using a skill like Vaal Burning Arrow, or just any instant skill that doesn't have the duration tag with it, skill effect duration, and it basically just, if it doesn't have the line that says modifiers to skill effect duration apply to this soul gain prevention, if it doesn't have that line in it, then reduce skill effect duration will not work to reduce the soul gain prevention, in which case you have to use the ring. So if you wanted to do a bunch of, Vaal Rain of Arrows, if you wanted to do a bunch of Vaal Spectral Throws, you would have to use the ring in those scenarios. Anyways, hopefully that breaks down basically the ultra technique we're working with here to get a ton of Vaal skills on the field. I'm super excited to actually min-max this character. I've been working with some potato gear, and potato, this tree isn't even set up very well for what we're actually doing at this point. And we were actually almost able to kill Uber at Zeri on level 74 right out of the campaign with our trash gear setup. I think there's a lot of potential for this to be very strong, and frankly, I would suspect this is going to get nerfed come next league. I don't think this is going to survive next league patch notes. I don't think it's in GGG's interest to have spammable Vaal skills as this easily doable. Anyways, that's the video. Appreciate you watching. Peace out.